The secret society goons are all gathered at the lab where loud noises and chaos is happening within. Tala the witch goes through them and opens the lab only to see Lex Luthor still working on getting Brainiac back. She tries to get him to stop before he destroys the place, but he is determined to see the experiment through. It fails miserably, and he becomes frustrated, taking his anger on Tala and telling her that her powers are useless against pure science. She shuts him up when she uses a transmutation spell to discover what is inside the Brainiac piece. They go on a weird and trippy acid trip into the world of Brainiac, but Tala is too tired to continue and proceeds to faint. Luthor comes out of this trip realizing there is still another Brainiac in the universe, and he knows the coordinates to his location. Time to try to become a god again. Lex starts putting everyone to work on doing modifications to their base, but each one of them finds something to be frustrated about with all this amount of work. They gather around for a meeting expressing their lack of trust in what they are doing and how they are going to fit in the new world when Luthor merges with Brainiac again and becomes a god. Luthor makes an example of one of them to show them he is already more powerful than them, and then promises those who stand by him a special place by their side in the new world. He then shocks everyone to show them that their work on the base was merely to turn it into a giant spacecraft headed to the location of Brainiac. Meanwhile, Grodd realizes his base is moving and demands to know what is happening. Tala the witch visits him and tells him to shut up before revealing how wrong she was for backing Luthor, and now she wants to support Grodd again. Luthor is busy, however, navigating the ship with Toyman so that they could reach Brainiac. Suddenly, Grodd, with the help of Tala the witch and some villains that don't like Luthor's way of leading, attack the cockpit with Luthor in it. Tensions rise as villains stand against each other, backing either Luthor or Grodd, all while others don't know who to choose. Grodd cuts the silence and attacks Luthor, who starts running away. Villains attack Luthor, while others start backing him up and beating Grodd. It is an all-out villain civil war. Tala the witch manages to corner Luthor and attack him with a spell, but it turns out he is wearing some kind of repellent, and the spell backfires on her. The fight continues between the villains, with Grodd personally chasing down Luthor. They fight man to monkey, and Grodd proceeds to beat the absolute shit out of Luthor like it was nothing. I am talking about slapping him around like he is his disobedient son. Grodd taunts Luthor, and was about to use his brainwaves to end this fight, but Luthor manages to trick him and repel the waves back, causing Grodd to unwillingly fall under Luthor's control. He uses this opportunity to humiliate Grodd, and then force him out through an airlock and into space. Luthor stands before the people that went against him, trying to think of a suitable punishment, or a reason he should let them go. Killer Frost proves herself as she steps forward and freezes everyone else but her, amusing even Luthor, who then spares her and tells her to get rid of them. Toyman then informs Luthor that they have reached the destination, and Luthor proceeds to tell the captured Tala that she won't be killed just yet because they need her magic to siphon Brainiac's essence from the space debris, and then he will use that energy to bring him back. Tala pleads with him, but Luthor doesn't care and tells Toyman to start the machine. Toyman is frozen, however, and Luthor repeats his command to absolutely no response. Suddenly, a mysterious being calling himself Metron tells Luthor that time has stopped for now, as he confronts him on what he is about to do. He tells him that he traveled through infinity and has seen the first and the last, but what Luthor is doing right now threatens everything in time. Luthor gets cocky with him and tells him he will become a god soon, so he doesn't care. Metron tells him that he is a fool for thinking he knows what a god is, and then proceeds to disappear while telling Luthor that he will regret what he does pretty quickly. The machine gets activated, and a figure starts to manifest right in front of everyone. Luthor is shocked, however, because it is not Brainiac, it is actually Darkseid, who immediately destroys the ship and kills everyone in it. We then cut to an all-out war and apocalypse for control that Darkseid arrives in the middle of, and causes everyone to stop and kneel before the returning Darkseid. Meanwhile, the Justice League are told that someone important is waiting outside, and everyone goes out to see Lex Luthor and the secret society standing before them, as Luthor informs Superman and the Justice League that they have a problem. Luthor explains to Superman how he escaped death at the last second with the Yellow Lantern's power, and then came back to Earth immediately to warn everyone. Suddenly, Mr. Terrific informs the Justice League that multiple boom tubes have opened up around the world with alien ships coming through. Alerts blare throughout the watchtower as every member of the Justice League is called upon to save Earth. Superman tries to lock up Luthor and the secret society as they get rid of Darkseid, but the villains are willing to fight to stay free. Batman agrees with them that they need all the help they can get right now in this war. Lex Luthor makes it clear, however, to the frustrated Superman that he only wants revenge on Darkseid, and after they get rid of this problem, it will be back to business as usual, which Superman agrees to. They get separated into teams with Batman, Superman, and Lex Luthor, heading to the supposed ship that is carrying Darkseid. We see a cool shot of all the superheroes getting ready and changing into their costumes to take on the forces of Apocalypse. Everyone is fighting all over the world and doing their part as villains and superheroes stand side by side once in a lifetime to take on the forces of Apocalypse. Batman, Superman, Lex Luthor teleport to Darkseid's location and take on his forces as well until they get his attention. Darkseid descends from his ship and proceeds to explain to Superman how he is going to kill and torture everyone so that Superman loses all hope, and only then will he kill Superman. Luthor surprisingly throws the first punch, but Darkseid easily swats him away like he is a fly. Batman has to go after him to save him. Darkseid taunts Superman some more, and then absolutely pummels him through the Daily Planet's building. The Justice League realize what the Apocalypse forces are trying to do as they drill to the Earth's core, hoping to create fire pits and ease Earth into an actual apocalypse. The team starts going after the drills and destroying them one by one as the forces of Apocalypse fail to stop them. Meanwhile, Darkseid wakes Superman up to continue the scheduled beating, only to be distracted by Batman and Luthor, so that Superman gets on his feet and continues the fight with Darkseid. All of this is happening as the mysterious figure named Metron, who warned Luthor about his plans, watches as everything unfolds in front of him. An elderly Chinese man wants to help Wonderwoman fight the Apocalypse forces, and she tells him to just get to safety. He surprises her when he beats the forces up like he is Prime Superman, and then pleasantly surprises her once again when he reveals that he is actually the Martian Manhunter, who is back now to help the Justice League. Back to Superman, Batman and Luthor. Darkseid is beating the hell out of Superman. Batman tries to help, but Darkseid brushes his attacks off and fires off his Omega Beam, which Batman actually managed to avoid, leading to Darkseid becoming impressed with him. Luthor runs away the moment Darkseid looks at him, so Darkseid focuses back on beating Superman while taunting him about his friends running away or falling to him. Meanwhile, Luthor actually confronts Metron about all of this and demands he help him with Darkseid. Metron basically calls him a dumbass for still going through with his shit, even after the warning, and reveals that there might be a way to defeat, but it is too risky. Luthor doesn't care about the risk, and they go anyway. Batman, on the other hand, is trying his best to help Superman, even if he can't actually beat Darkseid. He manages to give Superman an opening to strike. Superman basically lays the smackdown on Darkseid and tells him that he has been holding back this whole time, but if Darkseid wants to act like a big man, then Superman is going to cut loose and show him his true power. Superman beats the absolute shit out of Darkseid, but Darkseid resorts to using some device called the Agony Matrix to simulate nerve pain in Superman's body, causing him to fall down in battle. Metron takes Lex Luthor to a place called the Source Wall that hides behind it the single greatest secret of the universe. He warns Lex Luthor one final time before he embarks on the journey of knowledge. Luthor jumps in and starts screaming at what he is seeing. We are then taken back to Superman on the ground, and Darkseid taunting him before he carves his heart out. Lex Luthor stops him, however, as he enters the scene in a fresh new suit, like he just finished an important meeting, and was not screaming like a second ago. Darkseid can't believe he is still challenging him, but Luthor tells him that he has what he actually wants, and then presents him with the anti-life equation. Darkseid leaves everything and marches to Luthor, taking the anti-life equation and looking at it with Luthor. Batman saves Superman and takes him to safety as Luthor and Darkseid explode. Apocalypse forces withdraw after Darkseid's defeat. The Justice League talk about the events and declare that they are ready for Darkseid and Luthor to come back. Wonderwoman then states that it is time to lock the villains back up, but they want some consideration since they helped the heroes, so Batman smugly informs them that they have a 5-minute head start to run, which they take like their life depended on it. The League members joke with each other as we see a final shot of every superhero leaving the base. No comments or notes to talk about. What an epic finale for a really great show. Hope we can get something like this, or even a continuation down the line when Warner Brothers and DC get their shit together. This brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this one. Your support helps us grow. And tell me, what do you think of this finale for the Justice League show? Do you want a revival to happen soon? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you're watching till now, thank you. I'll see you in another video soon.